Yo, what's going on, guys? I know I haven't posted in a hot minute, or at least any Cobra Kai content, but in this video, we're going to be going over all the MVPs of every season of Cobra Kai. Because recently, from the Part 3 leaks, there's been, rosters of Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, and it's like, wow, these rosters are so crazy. But then I was, thinking about all the rosters that the two dojos have had in the past, and I was thinking, who has been the most standout? And I'm not just talking about strongest, that is obviously very important, but who has genuinely helped the dojo the most in those seasons? For example, if it was a tournament season, then obviously winning the tournament would be the most important thing. But if it was something like season 3, for example, if Hawk didn't switch sides, they could have lost. So perhaps Hawk could be the MVP of season 3. That's just an example, though. So, yeah, let's just get right into it, starting with season 1. Starting with season 1, it's pretty clear and cut. It's only between Miguel and Robbie, and it goes to Miguel. I mean, he did have to cheat and fight dirty to win the tournament, but he did end up winning. And it wasn't like someone else cheated for him. He did it himself. So, he was the most valuable student. And you would want to have it since he technically won the tournament, and it's pretty simple. He won the tournament. He was the most valuable. Now, season 2, this is probably one of the hardest, because even if you had another person, it wouldn't have really changed much. The two dojos didn't even really have beef in season 2 until the mall fight. And then after that happened, they didn't really have beef until the school fight. They only had beef when they fought, but they didn't have, beef outside of it. It's, weird. But if I were to choose one, I mean, Sam and Robbie are kind of a package duo in this season, and that's kind of shown with them learning the wheel technique and working together. So I low-key wouldn't count them, even though Miyagi-Do technically did win the school fight. Robbie, he technically beat Miguel, but, I wouldn't even call that a good thing. I wouldn't want one of my students to do that. I wouldn't call them valuable. And then, if I were to choose Miguel, how is he valuable? He basically lost us the school fight. He also technically caused the school fight. He lost the school fight. I mean, he won it, but he lost at the same time. You know what I'm saying. He started it, and he ended up in a wheelchair. So if I could see the future, if I was a coach on a team, and I could see the future of this student, I would not want him. He gets injured. He's going to be weaker in the future. I would not want him on my team. I'm sorry. So it's not going to Robbie, it's not going to Sam, and it's not going to Miguel. So the last 3 are Tori, Hawk, and Dimitri. Dimitri's not getting it. Come on now. It's between Tori and Hawk. Now, these two didn't really do much to contribute to their dojos. Both of them lost their fights in the school fight. But I want to point this out, that Hawk was fighting multiple opponents. Tori was just 1v1ing Sam the entire time. So going off that, because the rest of the season, both Hawk and Tori are kind of just causing shenanigans every other episode, I'm going to give the MVP of season 2 to Hawk. I know y'all probably get mad, but I'm giving it to Hawk in season 2. On to season 3. Immediately, Robbie and Miguel are both out of the running. Miguel's crippled. I don't care what the writer said. He barely beat Kyler. Stop overlooking what the writer said. Robbie was in jail the entire season. He couldn't do anything. Hawk, potentially. Sam, potentially. Tori, she was, kind of recovering it from the whole time. Yeah, I don't think Tori can get the MVP this season either. I think it's between Sam and Hawk. So let's look at their accolades. We start off with Sam basically being the leader of Miyagi-Do now that Robbie's gone, and she holds the car washing thing. That's good. That's a good thing. Hawk comes and steals the money. Bad. Then they have their whole like school detention thingy, which is bad on both of them. Like I think they're both being bad in that scenario. But I would say Hawk started it, so I'm gonna say Hawk was being worse there. Then in the laser tag fight, Hawk was causing trouble, and I know people like hate on Sam for this, but I think she was low-key in the right for like standing up for Miyagi-Do and striking first and attacking Cobra Kai. I think Sam was in the right for that. So I think that's actually good on Sam, even though she did start the fight and they did lose it, which I was low-key flaming Miguel for earlier. But I think in this part of the story, she kind of had to, or Cobra Kai would just keep bullying them forever. So I think this was good to stand up for them, even though it caused Demetrius' arm to get snapped. But it's also bad, you know. It's like good and bad, like I said. And then the performances in the house fight. I mean, Hawk was just fighting Steven the whole time. Like, why Steven? And Sam was just boxing Tori and beat Tori finally. I don't know why I said finally. She beat her last season, but finally she got over her PTSD. But low-key, I would have to give it to Hawk. Just because if he didn't switch sides, Cobra Kai would have won the house fight and just beat everyone to smithereens. So it's low-key Hawk carried. I kind of hinted this and kind of just spoiled it at the beginning of that video, but Hawk at Season 3, 2. Whoa, I'm low-key glazing Hawk this video. I gave him Season 2 and Season 3. Alright, I low-key knew he was going to get Season 3 before I even made this video, but, like, dang, he got Season 2 and 3. Alright, let's just go to Season 4. Immediately, I'm going to kick Miguel out again. He ran away during the tournament. I don't want a student like that. Other thing, Tori, I would not want her. If she loses fair and square to Sam, but I, as a sensei, have to cheat to make her win, I don't want that. But if she, like, cheats herself, that's just on her. That's good on her. If she cheats herself, but I don't have to cheat for her to win. So that does not give her points. So Tori would not be the MVP this season. So we got Robbie, Eli, and Sam. Now, a lot of people say Eli would have won the tournament, and I believe that is true. Even if there was no overtime and Robbie didn't get distracted, I think Hawk still would have won. So we have just the clear stronger between Eli, who won the boys division, but he did sell in the skills competition. He did sell that. Let's just keep that in mind. And Robbie did amazing in that. And Sam would have won. So I'm going to say Sam technically won because in this version where I'm the sensei, I'm not going to be cheating. So Tori would have lost. So in this version, Sam beat Tori. So Sam's the champion, female champion, and she also performed well in the skills competition. So I think right now it's between Robbie and Sam. Let's also not forget how Hawk literally just dipped out of the entire like training. He was just like, I got my hair cut. I'm sad now. You're go sulk your sorrows away after you win the tourney. All right, so I don't like that about Eli this season. So our two contenders for MVP are Sam and Robbie. Now let's look at their accolades outside the tournament because they both are basically champions with air quotes. Oh, not Robbie. Sam's the champion. Robbie's not, and they both perform well in the skills. But their accolades through the season. Season 4, Robbie trains Kenny, who's a very high potential up-and-coming fighter. So he basically gives me a crazy potential candidate. So he gives me a potential MVP in the future. Thank you. Well, not potential. He's not getting MVP, let's be honest. All right. But yeah, he gives us a really good fighter. Thank you, Robbie. And that's kind of he just cuts Hawk's hair. He goes out with Tori. Sam, on the other hand, she kind of is a troublemaker this season. She sparks things up with Tori. She gets into a fight at prom. But, and she's kind of the reason Miguel left. But Robbie did also cause some other things. But Robbie's thing did cause Hawk to... But that also caused Hawk to learn Miyagi-Do. So Robbie cutting Hawk's hair actually backfired and made Hawk stronger. So I guess that's a negative. So low-key, I'm giving Season 4 MVP to Sam because she did good in the skills. She did good in the tournament. She would have won because in this version, if I have... there's no cheating. She would have beat Tori. She's well-rounded. She knows Eagle Fang. She knows Miyagi-Do. She did spark up a few things, but I think she performed well enough where she was a good MVP. And she also was a good leader for all the Miyagi-Do students. Season 5. We all know Miguel's the strongest. There's no debate here, really. But in terms of leadership, this is kind of the season where Robbie's leadership shines, Tori's leadership shines, and the real big thing is the trying to take down Terry Silver. And Tori and Robbie lead this attack. So I think these are the only two MVP candidates. You could say, Sam and Miguel helped in the big fight. Oh, also Dimitri did download that thing. That was helpful. But yeah, Miguel and Sam did help in the fighting. They did a lot. I think they performed the best in the brawl fight, those two. So I also got to think about that. But let's go over Tori and Robbie's leadership. So if it wasn't for Tori, they wouldn't figured out that Kreese is going to the Seikai Taikai, and we would basically toast, because that was the whole plot of Season 6. Also, Tori was able to figure out what Terry did to Stingray. And, Robbie, led the attack on the dojo. Now that I'm looking over Tori's accolades, I think Tori is a clear-cut winner. I'm not going to lie. She introduced Devin. She was helping Devin out as well. And she even had Devin switch up. So I think Tori gets it this season. She did a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I'm giving MVP Season 5 to Tori. Now on to Season 6. I'm just doing Part 1 and 2 combined. So yeah. It's going to mostly just cover the Seikai Taikai because Part 1 is just them fighting each other. So it's nothing really all that important. Oh, we can also go over the other students like Quan and Axel. So it's clear to say Axel's the MVP of the Seikai Taikai. He loses none of his fights, even in the brawl. He beats everyone. So yeah, if we're going over only Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, Quan's not even that good. I guess Tori would be valuable because she knows the inside information. People say Miguel carried Miyagi-Do, which is true, until the tag team fights. And let me just say this. If Robbie didn't clutch up, they lost. So you got to give Robbie a little bit of credit for that. But obviously, Miguel did perform the best. If Kenny was there, he would have also probably performed really well. But unfortunately, Kenny was only there for the tag teams, so he didn't really get to show that much. But I think he would have done well. So I think our only candidates are Axel and Miguel. Because, Zara's good too. She wins all of her fights. I think Tori wins all of her fights as well. But I think Axel's pure dominance is just, insane. If you take out all the leadership skills, and all the communication, then I think you give it straight to Axel. But if you're trying to get the best team overall, not just strongest fighter, then I would probably give it to Tori since she knows all of Miyagi-Do's information. But, there's a bunch of all other teams. There's a bunch of other dojos. She only knows about Miyagi-Do. So that's not going to help that much in the grand scheme of the Seikai Taikai. So I would give it to Axel. Yeah, he's a monster. He hasn't lost a single fight. He's tough. So let's go over the MVPs every season. Season 1, Miguel. Season 2, Hawk. Season 3, Hawk. Season 4, Sam. Season 5, Tori. Season 6, Axel. What do y'all think about these? I know y'all might be mad that Robbie didn't get a single one, but he's second place. What do you expect? Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I'll see you in the next one.